Who here has had one person in your business who has that you've transacted with, that you've done a deal with, buyer or seller, that you've got at least one referred deal? You got referred by somebody. Somebody gave you a lead, right? So maybe one of these amazing referral partners. Raise your hand again, real quick. Who gave you got a lead, right? You closed the deal, you made some money. Next. Who here has actually done not just one, 10? Who's got a referral who got referred 10 times and made money every single time, right? You got referred 10 different deals? This is what I'm trying to tell you. You can get one client. Imagine it was all commercial deals, and every single one you made 10% on $6 million, right? A lot of us are trying to get referrals from the woman down the street, the guy down the street who's referring you a $210,000 house, and they scream at you when you want 6% commission. No thanks. What if I told you I had 3 VIPs right now that each make me over $1 million each a year? It doesn't have to be complicated. When I focus on, by the way, that video, the image of my dashboard many years ago, my average sales price wasn't even that high. It was 12 houses for $4 million in production. My price point wasn't that high. But now it's like once you learn what actually can make you a substantial amount of money, it's just doing the same exact thing in a slightly different position. Let's just find exactly how you find these VIPs so you guys can start printing money. Let's do it. What's a VIP? So someone who transacts often and can refer you business. Guys, you got plenty of VIPs right over here. They talk to a lot of people, right? This is exactly what they are. These are individuals who do a lot of business in their own fashion. Who here knows somebody who is successful? Does anybody? Come on. You know somebody successful? Be their friend. Jesus Christ, right? It is that simplistic. Some people here, they just like to ignore them. Right? And they're scared to ask for support. I'm hanging out with a friend of mine who's worth almost $1 billion. We're hanging out. We went to the Miami Open together. We had a great time. And I always ask him questions. He's one of my mentors. I really adore him and his wife. Wonderful people. And it's amazing how the wealthy people do business with people that they like and spend time with. Holy cow, mind blowing. Okay, next, $2 million. Jesus Christ, what's happening here? Okay, here, this is the thing. Number 2, $2 million average sales price. The reason why I write this is because too many of you are targeting too little or too small of a property. Maybe it's not $2 million in your market, right? I know your average sales price, $300, $350, $250, whatever it is. My intention is for you to at least start targeting properties that are worth at least 50 to 100% more than what you're targeting now. You know why? Because if all you did, you got nothing else from this entire event, and all you did was you start prospecting properties in a little bit higher of a price point market, guess what you would do with your income if you sold the same amount of houses, but twice the value? Double your income. I'm not saying sell more houses. I'm saying prospect smart. Next, I'm currently in a relationship with them. Listen, for a VIP, you have to be in a relationship with these people, right? They can't be an absolute stranger. But I don't care. Guess what you can do? You can literally go, I have a target board. Okay, I got a huge board, like who I want to have on my VIP list, who I would love to do deals with. I have plenty of people like, hey, I got to go, and how can I go do business with these amazing people? Okay, let's go to modeling. Model successful people so you can become one. A lot of people are just like, hey, who here wants to be successful? Come on now. I'm not asking you, listen, I'm asking you if you want to be successful because what's funny is that people overcomplicate how simplistic it is to be successful. For many years, and again, I was suicidal, depressed. I attempted on my own life 3 times before the age of 13 years old. And what I was terrified about was my own self-esteem was my detriment, right? I had no self-esteem. I did not believe in myself. I had no self-confidence. And then all of a sudden you get older and you realize hey, everything that you want to become, just about everything, has been done already. Okay, unless you're Elon Musk, you don't want to put people on Mars. That hasn't been done yet. But for the most part, everything you want to accomplish in your life, the amazing body, the amazing relationship, the amazing business, has been done before, and it's literally, most of the time, been vlogged, and it's put on YouTube, okay? So the point is, watch the content, do what successful people do. Next. It's time to really quick story about Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I was listening to a podcast. I learned about this guy. I was like, this is freaking unbelievable. A man named Andy Taylor took a business, okay, took over this company, was doing $78 million a year and grew it to $24 billion. Unfreaking believable growth. I want him to be COO of my company. Okay, it took 38 years. How many people have been in the business longer than a year, 12 months? Who's been in the business 12 months or longer? Okay, cool. Keep your hand raised if you've been in the business 3 years or longer. 5 years or longer, 10 years or longer, 20 years or longer, Jesus, 25 years or longer, 30 years, 40 years, 43, amazing. Let's give this guy a round of applause. But one thing I do want to say, though, is I want to make sure 43 years into my business, I'm a billionaire. There's no reason why every single one of you can't retire from this business with millions of dollars in the bank and or hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in cash flow if you make the right decisions. Because here's the thing. There's many people who go through this career and are 10 years, 15 years, 20, 30, 40 years plus in the industry, and they have nothing to show for it. I don't want to end up like that. That's my biggest fear in life, is go 40, 50 years in an industry and have nothing to show for it. Do you guys have a retirement? As a real estate agent, do we have retirements? No, it's called our own self-investments. So guess what your first dollar should be doing? If you have barely any money to your name, okay, what do you think your first dollar should be invested in? Yourself, the S&P 500. Thank you, Alex Ramosi. Next slide. Yes, absolutely, yourself. Stop investing in the stock market or real estate when you haven't even invested in yourself yet. Next. Okay, this is great. Okay, so he said, listen, I'm not the smartest person in the room, but I have the ability to focus. The ability to focus for very long periods of time. I've never tired of that focus. I never tired of buying cars. I've never tired of renting cars. I never tired of servicing cars. I don't get bored. Most CEOs don't have the attention span to dedicate nearly 4 decades of their life to doing the same thing over and over and over again, and that is why they fail. You know what you guys keep doing, the people who are in this business for a very long time or even a short period of time and wondering where your success is? You keep trying new things. One thing, a lot of it, forever. That's how you're successful in real estate, okay? Next. Are you modeling success? Here, this is just, again, really simplistic facts. If the top 1% of 1% who make more than $10 million a year have a team of over 50 people, why don't you start doing that? Next. If the majority of agents who make over $1 million a year are either in luxury real estate, luxury price points, right, or commercial real estate, or have a team of 5 or more, why don't you just model what they do? Okay, I'm not saying I came up with this idea. I just follow successful people. If the agents who make less than $100,000 a year on average income spend less than 30 minutes a day prospecting, have fewer than five conversations a day to new prospects, have no team, no coaching, and any support of any fashion, do you think you should follow their model? No. Can you say that again really loud? No. But the majority of people in this room are following that, and they think that's their path to success. If 90% of millionaires did through owning real estate, why on planet Earth do you think you should not invest in real estate? They're like, oh, I should do crypto. Oh, I should do stock market. Oh, I should do Forex. Listen, guys, like, don't make it complicated. You freaking sell it. You are the first people to see it. You might as well buy it eventually. If the majority of realtors have little to no retirement, why are you following their lead? For God's sakes. Next. Model success, I talked about this. Model failure. If you want to make no money, follow all of these things. It's not that complicated, right? If you don't prospect, you sell cheap real estate, you think you know it all, you work alone, you don't have a coach, you invest in nice stuff like cars and fancy watches and BS, and not in your business, you're probably not going to have any money. But if you want to have some money, you follow this side, okay? It's not that complicated, right? You sell commercial real estate or more expensive properties, right? You get coaching and mentorship. Everybody who's successful has a mentor or a coach, okay? Like, save 5 to 20% of your income so you actually can have money at the end of the year. Who here hates taxes? Yeah, so do I, but I still make millions of dollars a year and have a smile on my face around tax season. You know why? I know the tax code through real estate. And I'll talk about that in a little bit, right? Because a lot of real estate agents, when they go tax season, they're like, oh, God, make sure you write off everything, Mr. Tax Person, please. I don't have any cash. I'm going to tell you how you can keep all your cash. You just got to invest in real estate, okay? Invest in real estate. Spend 80% of your time and money on money-making activities. Just hit next, please. You guys know this stuff. Come on now. Choice is yours. 100%. Choice is yours. Lesson number 4, multiple lenses. You just heard from Aram, who did a fantastic job talking about 2 different lenses, right? You find a property, you can list it for sale, or you can buy it and you can flip it, right? What if I told you there's actually 4 lenses? So we're going to go through multiple lenses. Listings are not the only way to make money in real estate. I don't know if you knew that, but there's many ways, okay? So we're going to talk about that. 4 lenses to look through. Investor long-term. So what you could do. Now, this is kind of blended with Aram for a second, but I'm going to talk commercial real estate, but this works for residential. So be like, oh, this doesn't work for me. Yeah, yes, it does. Okay? So investor long-term, this is buying a property. So this is when you find an unbelievable opportunity. I don't care if it's a single-family house, a 2-family, a 5-family, a 500-unit complex, a shopping center, a gas station. I don't care what it is. As long as it's literally a freaking standing building, you can do this. Okay? It literally is you're buying the property for the long term. Okay? You find a way to get involved in the property. I will show you how to. Who wants to be able to buy a property for the long term with no money out of pocket? I'm going to show you how to do that. Number 2 is the short term. So let's just say that you find an opportunity. If it's a really, really good deal, you buy it for the long term. I'll show you how to do that. Number 2 is that you invest for the short term. Okay, this is for a property that you feel like has a lot of spread, but it's not such an unbelievable deal, or it's got a little bit of a nuance where it's like, hey, I really don't want to be messing with this. Wholesale the property. What I just shared with you. We're locking up a shopping center for $3.4 million. It's in Texas. Okay, we're locking up for $3.4 million, and I'm going to flip it for at least somewhere between $4 million and $4.5 million million guaranteed. I'm never going to take ownership for longer than 15 minutes on this property. Okay? It's called a wholesale. Okay? I do a double close. Okay? It's not an assignment. An assignment is when you are on it's an A to B and a B to C contract. For me, I am the principal buyer. I sign on the letter of intent with my own name. I put down the deposit, right? I cut that check, and then I flip it. After my closing, 15 minutes later, my buyer then closes on my deal. I make the difference. And guess how much money I have to put out of pocket? Just my deposit. And who said that the deposit had to be yours, right? You can raise the money. Next, though, is going to sell the property off market, okay? So what I try to do in a lot of our business is either a wholesale deal or an off-market deal. Guess what you can do? If you have a deal and you know the seller's willing to take $500,000 and you have a buyer who's looking between $500 and $550, why on planet Earth wouldn't you just show them the property before listing it? It's like we're so programmed to follow corporate. And you're like, oh, I have to list properties. That's not the only way to make money in this business. You do it off market, you can almost guarantee yourself to make 4, 5, or 6%, or 10%, God bless, right, on every deal. Lastly, if they really want to sell it, and of course this is the majority of the time for residential real estate, they're really pushing you, you don't have anybody off market, and it's not a great deal, guess what you should do? List it for sale. Did I say it was the first lens to list a property for sale? No. It's not even the second, it's not even the third. It's the fourth option when you look at a property. Fourth, not first. Learn and master the fundamentals of commercial real estate. Change your financial future with commercial real estate. Let's go through it. So, becoming a dynamic agent. Guys, I'm not telling you to stop selling residential real estate. Who here makes money? Who closed at least one deal in the last 12 months selling houses? Most of you should raise your hand. Okay, great. What I'm telling you to do is I'm not telling you to shut the faucets off and go sell commercial real estate. I'm not saying stop what makes you money and go do this other shiny object thing. I am telling you to learn how to become a dynamic agent, a residential agent, okay, who understands how to sell it all. The man James in the back who just shared with you that he got a property for $6 million and just signed it for 10% commission. Okay, guess what? He sells a lot of residential houses, but he understands the fundamentals of commercial real estate, so when the opportunity arises, he can take advantage of it instead of doing what? If you don't know how to do it, what do you get out to do? If you don't know how to sell a piece of commercial real estate, what do most realtors do? You refer it out, and how much money do you make when you refer it out? 10%, 25%, 20%, 30%, right? Guess what? What if I told you you can make 10 freaking percent commissions on $6 million deals if you just learn some simple fundamentals? This is why I like commercial real estate the most. My first commercial real estate deal was actually a referral to me. I made $105,000 on it. It was like 6 or 7 years ago, and I was like, I have to sell 14 houses to make $100,000, and all I did was I literally had a buyer, said I want to buy more multifamily. I was referred to a guy who wanted to sell his multifamily property, and I just said, hey, Bob the buyer, meet Sal the seller, and guess what? They bought it. I made 4% on $2.5 million or so, a little bit more, and that was it. I made over $100,000. I was like, that was easy. God, how on planet Earth do I do a lot more of that? I learned, and now we do it. Next, let's see, economic stability. Yeah, listen, guys, economic stability. Who here thinks that because of interest rates, it's a little bit difficult out there? Be honest, guys. I think it's difficult. Come on now. I'm not trying to say it's not, right? Interest rates are making it a little bit harder. This is why asset class diversification is incredibly powerful for a real estate agent to understand. When you are a dynamic agent, guess what you can do? Any property that comes to you, you can sell it. No matter what the economy does. Houses do well, sell houses. The commercial real estate market blows up, take advantage. If anything in between blows up, you can do the real estate. But a lot of people are just like, oh, the housing market's really complicated right now. It's really tough to sell houses out there. Guess what? The commercial real estate business, right now can be a little bit tough. But a little bit tough doesn't mean you can't sell a deal for $6 million and make 10% in a wonderful market that's easily to sell. It does not have to be complicated, because the cool thing is when you make $100,000 on average, which is what my team does per deal, you can sell 5 houses a year, 5 properties a year and make $500,000. It doesn't have to be complicated either. You sell one commercial deal, take the $100,000 and just shove it in your pocket and live off your residential real estate. Take that money from your pocket, invest it in real estate, and you'll never have tax problems ever again. Who here doesn't want to have tax problems ever again? Okay, cool. Yeah, I agree. Okay, next. Let's see, prospecting on the ease. Guess what? In commercial real estate, the prospecting is substantially easier, by the way. Because if you call in residential real estate, you're like, Hey, Sal, just was calling you to see if you were still looking to sell it. I saw your property just came off the market, and I was just curious if you're still looking to sell it. Hey, Mr. For sale by owner, just out of curiosity, would you be totally against cooperating with agents? You go through all these scripts, right? Or working with residential homeowners, right? But here's the thing: when you're a residential homeowner, you get all these freaking calls. I don't care if you're an expired for sale by owner or you're circle prospecting. It's annoying. And guess what? If you sell, you have to move. Your life gets uprooted, and your life is like, oh, freaking crazy for a minute. I'm moving right now. It's a pain in the ass. I don't know if you know what you guys are putting people through. Sir, are you okay? But guess what? It is not easy to move, right? It's a pain in the butt, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. But here's the thing. When you do commercial real estate, do they have to do anything other than sign a document? No, it doesn't affect their life. They just collect a fat 7-figure check and you collect a 6-figure check and everybody goes on their merry way. So when you call somebody and you say, hey, Mr. Seller, just out of curiosity, would you be totally against selling the property? Okay, that's literally, we circle prospect 350,000 phone numbers a month, okay? Call across the country. When you say that, what do you think they say? Worst case scenario, no. Okay, and then the majority of them say, I'm not really looking to sell it, but if you came up with a good price, I would consider it. So I'll have like more than half the conversations begin, right? And then the other percentages are like, yeah, I'm open to the idea of selling. What do you think it's worth? I don't have people telling me to go F myself most of the time. It's a lot easier of a cold call, okay? Most of these people are a lot more, because it's all about the numbers. Hey, if I brought you a great price, would you sell it? Yes, of course, because everyone would, right? By the way, if you have anybody who's looking for great commercial real estate, I would sell my properties too for the right price, but I don't need to list them for sale. Next year, Narstat. You know the average residential agent makes $39,300. Average commercial real estate agent makes 2.5 times. Guess what? Most commercial real estate agents only sell one property. Commercial real estate investments, make it easy to start investing. Let me show you something. Let me paint you a quick picture. So you're circle prospecting for properties, and you get a property owner on the phone, and the owner mentions that they're open to the idea of selling. What would you do? Don't go to the next one. Wait here. What would you do? They said they're open to the idea of selling. What would you do? You're on a cold call. Seller says, yeah, I'm open to the idea of selling. What would you do? How soon would you like to sell? Let's just say they want to sell now. They're open to the idea of selling right now. Okay, wonderful. I said, hey, I'm in the area. Why don't I stop by? I said, I would meet you there. I wasn't going to be in the area, but I'm always interested in meeting somebody. He agrees, and I pull up to this splendid property. There's a picture of me, and I was like, oh, this looks like a beautifully ugly 10-family property. Next, we toured the property, and he said, what do you think it's worth? Hold on. When someone says, what do you think it's worth, what do you think you should do? Most people would just be like, oh, I got to run some comps. They freak out. They spasm out. They don't know what to do, right? They don't know what's going on. Here's what I did. So I knew that this property was easily worth $1.6+ million. Second I looked at it. Easily, no problem. So let's talk about the options. We said there's 4 lenses in commercial real estate, right? So listed for sale. I could list it right now. Most of you would say, yeah, let's list it for sale at 1.6, maybe 1.7, because we want to get as much commission as possible, okay? We try to make 2 to 6% commission. Next. Or number 2, we could lock it up. We could wholesale it, right? We could lock it up and flip, grab it for X, flip it for Y. Next. Or lastly, I could buy it for X, increase the value, collect some cash flow in the meantime, and get some amazing tax benefits. Next. So I made him an offer of $1.35 million, full wholeheartedly thinking that this guy was going to tell me to screw off, okay? And I was just like, let me have it. I'm ready. Don't worry. And he said, that's about what I thought. I said, okay. What would you do next? Yeah, absolutely. I called up my buddy and I said, hey, let's go make some freaking money. Let me break it down. So if you listed it for sale, you make $32,000 to $96,000. If you wholesaled it on 1.35 to 1.6, you make $250 minus closing costs. Then number 3, you can buy it. I bought it for $1.35 million. I spent we spent $100,000 on renovations, or just about. It's a little bit more than that. And we just got offered $2.2 million. We just got offered $2.2 million on it recently. This was about 2.5 years ago when I bought it. We wrote off $850,000 in taxes that first year when we bought it, okay? We did something called a cost segregation. If you don't know what that is, I would look it up and invest in that idea and what it is, study it, go on YouTube, okay? Cash flow is $8,000 a month. So we got it cash flowing in the meantime. We got to write off a bunch of money, get hit next. Yeah, so I chose obviously number 3, okay? Next, when I told you you wanted to add an extra $100,000 to your bottom line, I'm going to share with you guys, like, look, this is the simple things. Don't make your life complicated. I want you to continue selling residential houses. I don't need you to stop doing what you're doing. All I want you to do is say, I want to add this to my ability. I'm going to add this to my repertoire. I'm going to add this skill to the future business I'm going to do, right? So all the simple things you're going to do is like, look, this is a 90-day challenge. If you want to do it, great. If you don't do it, it's not going to change my life, but I know it will change yours. Last few things. Did you know that accountability increases success by 95%? 95%. So American Society of Training and Business Development study, you are 95% more likely to succeed with the accountability of a third party. And many of you are scared to invest in yourself. You're at a free event. Some of you have been on your phone the entire time. Some of you will go back and nothing will change in your life. And some of you, maybe just one of you, and that's what all of us are here for, one of you, just maybe, will take this information, go out there, implement everything, and you'll be the next person on stage. So at the beginning, I promised you something, special gift. I actually have a lot of gifts. I come bearing plenty of gifts, okay? What I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna give you basically free access to a SKOOL community that we have that has absolutely everything you can possibly need to at least just start the idea of getting into commercial real estate. I'm not expecting you to go do it on your own. I'm here to help you, absolutely free. There is no cost. All you have to do, and by the way, again, it has every script you can imagine, every example you can possibly imagine, everything you need, cleaned up, nice, pretty package. Next. Scan it, take your phones out. Take your phones out. I'm giving you every single tool in your toolbox right now. Take your phone out. I'm going to stand to the side. Listen, I don't care if you ever sign up for a single thing ever again. Use all the free content. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me everywhere. @Henry Eisenstein. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for inviting me. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.